A couple days ago, I made a video about two dough balls. One had sugar and one did not. And I let them ferment for 3 nights. This is my 90-hour recipe that I've done in the past. And I wanted to know if sugar was necessary for longer ferments. And I made this video and I edited it, which takes forever. That's my least favorite part of this YouTube thing, is editing videos and uploading them to YouTube. It just takes time. When I got to that point, basically I was having some technical difficulties and I didn't want to do the whole video over again. So I'm just going to explain to you. I'm going to take some screenshots from my old video showing the pizza, and I'm explaining to you what happened, and this should be good enough. So like I said, I made two dough balls. They both were in the fridge for over 3 days, over 3 nights. When I started to shape, I'll put the recipe and the ingredients in the video description if any of you want to check it out. But basically, I mixed the dough in the KitchenAid, let it rest at room temperature for 45 minutes, shaped the ball, put it in the fridge for 3 nights plus, and then took it out, let it rest at room temperature for about 4.5 hours, and then baked them, shaped them and baked them. So what I wanted to learn from this experiment was whether sugar is necessary in these longer fermenting dough recipes. Because if not, I would love to eliminate it from my recipe. I did experiments in the past with my shorter fermentation time, my overnight fermentation, which is the most common in New York City. And sugar was necessary, I found out. When you're doing the shorter ferments, just over one night, sugar makes the dough taste a lot better. Not necessarily sweeter, just tastes better, because sugar acts as like a fertilizer to yeast, and it just makes the whole thing, it speeds it up and makes the dough act as if it had fermented for a lot longer than it really had. And so for the overnight recipe, sugar made the crust taste better. It made the dough more elasticy, and it made the rim puffier. And so I wanted to know if sugar is still necessary over a long ferment. So I had two dough balls. The dough ball that had the sugar in it, the dough was definitely more elasticy. The rim, when I shaped it and baked it, the rim was puffier than the one without sugar. The rim had a little more brownish color than the one without sugar. However, the taste was the exact same. Even after the video, I was slowly taking my time and comparing the two crusts, and I couldn't tell one difference at all. So what I learned is that sugar increases the taste of your crust, but only to a certain point. After that certain point, somewhere between 1 night and 3 nights, then the flavor benefits diminish and it just tastes all the same. However, because like I said, because the rim was puffier and had a little better color, I'm going to keep using sugar in my dough. It just made a difference. Now, the other thing I learned, it was an unintended lesson. I had some tomatoes in the freezer left over from last week. And when I took them out and defrosted them, the solids had really stuck to each other, and the liquids in the tomatoes were down at the bottom of the container. And I stirred it up and put it on the pizza. When I was spreading it, it was just really, really runny, much more than it was before I put it in the freezer. And when I took the pizzas out of the oven and let them cool down, basically the extra liquid in the tomatoes really softened up that the crust, and the crust was really flimsy, whereas it usually isn't. That's just one little lesson, is if you have leftover tomatoes and you put them in the freezer, use them for something else. Make a sauce out of it, meat sauce, whatever. It's just not ideal for pizza. I have seen that though. Now that I recognize it, actually. So that's it. In conclusion, I'm still going to use sugar in my pizza dough because for the long ferments, because it makes a more airy rim, a little bit better color, and then I'm going to never use tomatoes that I've frozen again for my pizzas. Thanks for watching. I hope you don't mind the short form video. Maybe even prefer it. I don't know. Let me know. Thanks.